The parameters in general, for what? It's enough. Working in a pulsed mode, okay, with a T on, so the laser is active, 400 microns, and a T off of 100 microns. So overall, the duty cycle, the cycle of the work of the laser will be 80%. 80% of the time the laser is active and 20% the laser is inactive. For me, this is enough for crown lengthening. I can change them a little bit according to each case, as I've said. Okay, so these are the parameters. Now, the most important and what I really want you to know today is the protocol for each indication. So, of course, we have to do a local anesthesia, and I sometimes wonder how some authors make you feel that you don't have to do an anesthesia when you are using the laser. So my first tip is, of course, you have to do a local anesthesia. If you do a local anesthesia in the conventional cases, please do an anesthesia while using the laser. And what's in red is the most important part. We have to draw the limits, and the limits will be drawn according to the classification of causelet G and Al, as we've said, according to the study of the biological width. So according to this study, I will draw the limits. This is very critical. To draw the limits of my surgery, I do not want to remove more than necessary, okay? And then something also very critical is to preserve the papilla. While using the laser, it's better not to touch the papilla because you might cause a recession. So please preserve the papilla. And at the end of the surgery, and this is something that I've learned from my own clinical cases, at the end of the surgery, it's better to smooth all the sharp angles, okay? So when you're done, when you consider the surgery is done, smooth the sharp angles in order to have a better regeneration. So this is the first case, 24 years old female came. She had nothing important as a systematic disease. Her main chief complaint was an anesthetic smile due to the excessive gingival appearance. So I've did my study. I've checked the classification of causelet G and Al, and I made sure that I will leave a certain distance for the biological width, and I performed a gingivoplasty without bone reduction with the diode laser. This is the preoperative situation. This is during the surgery. You can see here how I will create the zenith point. Okay, so try to create this zenith point. Try to remove as much as possible, but following the classification of causelet G, you can see the cut, it's very clean. Here, for example, I can stop, I can change a little bit the parameters and stop the bleeding. And then you have to smooth the sharp angles. You can see here that there is no sharp angles, okay? I will try to smooth the sharp angles. I will take at the end of the surgery my laser, 45-degree angle, and I will smooth all the sharp angles, okay? So this is after the treatment, and this is 1 year after treatment. Okay, of course, I did some whitening, and I've changed the 2 old composite fillings with new composite fillings. Okay, so this is the first case. This is another case, 10 days after the use of the laser. You can see the perfect healing, okay, after only 10 days. So now I've asked one of my patients, and I thought this is interesting to do. I asked one of my patients to send me a photo of the healing process. I wanted to know exactly what's happening, and I thought that I would share it in my presentations. So this is day 2 after the surgery. This is day 3. You can see the hematoma. This is day 4, 5, and from day 6, we have almost a good, let's say, cicatrization, okay? It's a very good cicatrization. After only 6 days of the surgery, this is day 7, day 8, and day 10, okay? So this is the third case, crown lengthening. Of course, I want you to remember to draw the limits and to preserve the papilla and to remove the sharp angles.